I don't know, but unlike Tomodachi Game, this show keeps me like wanting more, so I'm here for it.
Right. I just mean that we've hit the point now where the major reveal has happened. It's
Yeah,
not so much. I mean, the amount of guesswork we can throw out there has like gone from 100% to like 25%.
yeah, and most of it's really just okay. How's he gonna set up his sequence of events this time?
Right. We're now in plot motivation and characterization more so than Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah,
We're not looking at the clues, trying to deduce who's doing what and why. Now we're, okay, this character is motivated by this, so what are they going to do with the information that they have?
yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I like this character,
This character, which one?
main boy. I don't even remember his name. I don't remember any names,
Yeah, neither do I. But we all
but I
know
like
who
him.
we're talking about when we refer to
Yeah,
anybody. But I think now we have two main characters.
it looks like it. Which
Well, I
definitely
mean,
not a bad thing.
because the woman can see into the future a little bit too.
Right,
We deduced last time when she dodged bullets
right.
and then didn't dodge
She has
anything
special
else.
eyes as well.
I don't know that she has the eyes.
I mean,
The,
not the eyes, but she has special eyes.
right. But the his gray eye or his colored eye, we still don't know which eye it is. The queen is only missing one eye, or
Yeah,
mother. I forget, it was mother or queen. Mother.
mother.
Mother is only missing one eye. So whatever she has, God,
It's different.
I wish she had gotten shot. I
But
wish
she
she
did get
had.
shot in the first episode.
Oh wait, that's true. Never mind that. In the back of my head, I was thinking, she acts weird. What if she's a robot? But you're right. She does get shot, and we see blood and everything. So
Yeah.
it's not a robot thing. No, I mean she acts like in that
She's
weird
just a weirdo.
non-human way. Yeah, like everything is a first-time experience for her. In that way, that someone who's not quite right, like
Yeah.
a clone or something, might be.
I don't even know what to begin thinking with her. She's just a weirdo. Like among weirdos.
Otherwise, we got the back in time again, but the time frame is starting from a later point in time. I'm trying not to use the word time repeatedly. What else? He has to. Now we have to go back through. Oh yeah, when I was editing, came to the point where I said, and then I had to remember why the hell I said it. Oh, maybe he just skipped the funeral this time. I was like, wait, why did I say something about skipping a funeral? I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's why. That's what happens.
Yeah.
And we also covered that you never watched Evangelion,
Yeah.
so you never saw the ending, which is basically a lot like what happens here, last episode.
I mean, I know of it. I mean, I haven't seen it personally, but I know of it.
Right. The ending is a ooze, basically. Covers the world and merges everyone's minds all together.
Yeah.
Right. Which seemed a lot like what happened there last episode when the ground was covered in shadow and starlight, and people just vanished off the face of the earth.
They turned into stardust.
I thought you were gonna say that. Real David Bowie there. Or,
No, I think that's David
Moby.
Bowie.
Well, no, I was gonna say you could be David Bowie, or you go with Moby, I guess. Look,
Take David Bowie.
Shy, all I'm saying is people, they come together. We're all made of stars.
I'll go with David Bowie. I like that one.
At least it's two references that we both got.
Right. I'll take that. That's two more than we normally get an episode.
Yeah. So anything else? Predictions or not?
maybe record an intro to put before that conversation we just had?
Now why?
I don't know if that's just what we do, so I figured.
Yeah, but I got so much editing to do that I don't really give a shit.
Alright, cool. No worries then.
I mean,
Um,
who would even notice if I just clipped the intro from a different episode and put it there?
if we're wearing the same clothes, nobody's gonna question it.
And we're not. This shirt was created after I got out of the hospital, so literally, this bed of clothing didn't exist last episode.
Honestly, literally, just like at the start of the episode, put a little asterisk like text on the video, like we forgot to record an intro, whatever.
And I'm pretty sure I don't think you've worn your My Hero Academia shirt on any previous episode.
I don't think I have.
And no, I didn't forget to record an intro. I just decided hit record, start talking about the show.
That's fair. Honestly, I don't know if I have any like predictions per se. I'm just kind of like really interested in watching it unfold at this point.
Well, again,
Like we have all the information, you know.
he's at the start of day one now. What do you think, knowing what he knows now, he's going to do for his first day?
Well, I mean, we kind of talked about that last episode. Like, you think he's gonna go to the funeral and keep doing things the way he is. I think he's gonna try and hunt down the girl from the boat.
Well, unfortunately, we're kind of spoiled. So I don't know where you're at in opening the page to watch the show.
Actually, I didn't see anything. I'm still on the black screen.
Well, I'm on minute 000, which literally shows the woman was stepping off of the boat. So, my previous assertion, I do remember 2 weeks ago, see, that's how much I'm into the shows. A major surgical event 2 weeks ago, watch the show. Still remember that my assertion was he searched the island for her before and couldn't find her.
Yeah.
No matter what. And the show has taken that into account and is cheating by just putting him near the boat when they get off.
Damn. Get fucked, dude.
Yeah. Because otherwise...
I guess I'll take this dub, buddy.
Yeah. Otherwise, if it played out the way I thought, he just wouldn't have been able to find her. And he would have had to have made other decisions. I would love it, by the way, if this was just a false flag. Minute 000, picture of her stepping off of the boat, and he doesn't find her still.
That'd actually be hilarious. I would find that funny as hell.
Just to fool anybody who's looking at it the way I'm looking at it right now.
That would be hilarious. I honestly wouldn't even be mad. I wouldn't even be mad.
And just to make sure, since we've done this before, you are watching the right episode, right?
Well, I mean, I only clicked the link you sent, so unless the link you sent me is the wrong link, we're good.
Sure. I just don't want to get 2 minutes in and have you be watching the previous episode.
We're on episode 6, yeah?
Yeah.
There we go, we're good.
Okay. As funny as that was, you really did miss a huge reveal.
I really kind of did.
I mean, that house with the dead body outlines on the floor, I was going off about it. And I was not catching how confused you were. Alright, well, you ready to go?
I am.
Oh, so there are a lot more people on the island that are shadows.
Did you get off before him?
I think it's playing out the way I just suggested it might.
Yeah.
That they were just showing her getting off the boat for no reason. But I mean, we only thought that there was like, what? 3, maybe 5 shadows on the island? And that one, with that just one line, they're revealing that there's even more shadows than we thought.
Yeah, I'm here for that, honestly. Like, a lot of our theories have been revolving around the fact that there's like just a couple at the beginning.
Well, because we thought that the little girl was like the first one.
Like, yeah. So
Because
like,
we know the timeline is she is one at some point when he arrives, and then that night she kills and turns her family because they go missing the next day. And then we also know that Milo has one running around, the sister, the younger, shorter sister.
Mio, I think it's just Mio.
Mio, right? Milo is from Milo and Otis. Anyway, and then her, the blonde we know is running around as one too. And then he shoots himself in the head.
This is definitely different.
I don't know. Is this one of those things where we haven't been paying attention that she's on the road the entire time?
No, things are definitely different.
Or is this day one again? No, this has to be day one.
It is day one.
No, not like day one for... Now that he went back in time to day one, like, this has to be day one in the overall timeline. He just remember because he hasn't been thrown into the water since the original day one. God, how do you denote day one in a multiverse?
Well, the only reason he went into the water on day one, or didn't go into the water on day two on, is because he knew it was coming and set up in advance.
Right.
Here, he just, like, he was suddenly, like, in a different position. He was way off guard.
I don't think so. I think that this is the original day one, and now we're catching it from her perspective.
Shit, I hope so. I don't think it is, though, because she, like, recognized him without realizing she recognized him when she heard the name.
Well, she met him
keeps
on the
hearing all
boat.
this stuff.
She met him on the boat, turned around and saw him.
Yeah, but she heard a name, and she didn't have the name the first time on the boat. She heard a name and was like, Shinpei.
I think that was just...
She actually heard Shin. She heard Shin and finished Shinpei herself.
Well, because a girl was careening down a hill
Again,
on a bike. I think
Neo
it was
only said Shin, and she herself finished and said Shinpei. She knows him. She has a memory. She doesn't know she has it.
This is one of those things where I missed an aspect of it.
It was a very subtle thing, I think.
And I'm trying to create a storyline that may not exist. Because, I mean, I think my thing is, if he saw her on the hill, it feels like he would have tried to reach her before she went and goes wherever she goes. Because he doesn't know where she goes. Although, very weirdly now, she just met his dad. Which just means that at any point, he could have asked his dad where that woman went.
Her dad knows her, or his dad knows her.
Apparently.
So, like, I don't know.
Which is an aspect that we didn't know either.
Yeah, that's new information.
He was a fat kid. Although his dad's a chef, I didn't know that either.
Why is she reading porn in a cafe?
That was weird. I was trying to parse what the name of the porno was. Death Comes to Us All is my favorite ending to a joke. It's a
Man said Memento Mori, that shit's hilarious.
No, it's a joke about breaking the ice in a conversation. You don't want somebody else to come in and, reap the rewards of the ice that you had to spend breaking, so you reforge that ice by saying something awkward. at the end of every conversation. Alright, man, catch you later. Death comes to us all.
10年前かな。ご両親が船の事故で亡くなられて。
I don't know. I still think this is not the first timeline. Just because when the boy showed up on the dock, he was suddenly on the dock and like shocked by it, so I don't know.
Events for him, as I saw them, and I missed something that you saw, played out as the original day one. So for me, I'm still thinking this is original day one from her perspective.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
your
hear
favorite
you.
scene from 1,000 times.
誰一人信用することはできない。
待ってくれ、キズル。
吉川線。
うん。後ろの首にな、絞められて抵抗したような跡があるって。
ちょっと待ってアラン。警察はバカなのか。被害者の爪には犯人の血や皮膚片が挟まっていることも多い。
What is the Mortician of Shadow 2? That would make sense.
I think my audio and visuals are out of sync.
Oh, that's annoying. Do you want me to pause? You can refresh and try and resync?
I think I have to.
Alright, well, I paused. Tell me where to go back.
I'm just gonna refresh and go to 729 when I do. I thought what was happening was like that she was narrating stuff while we were seeing visuals of it as it was happening. And I just keep thinking, where's this weird man's voice coming from? It's like, because it was never in the scene with the guy was there.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me reach 729. Okay, I can get to 728.
That's funny, because 729 is exactly where I am.
Alright, well, I'll count 3, 2, 1,
I'm
go.
on 28.
Okay, I was saying, just hit it a second after I say go.
I got you.
Here's hoping it's just not the player that I'm on.
Ooh, I hope not.
3, 2, 1, go. Seems like it's good. Oh, it's that pet cemetery moment now, huh? Let me make sure the boy's body is in the coffin.
Honestly, if this was the first day in the first timeline, it would make a lot of sense why he couldn't find her, though.
Well, here's the thing, though. Unless our main character's already left the funeral, this didn't happen during the funeral that we saw.
Yeah.
It's happening again.
Oh, there's the kid.
I'm out of sync.
Again?
Yeah, it started off in sync, and I don't know, it's like maybe the things are playing slower or something than they should. I just saw the kid now. That's how far back my visuals are.
Did you try refreshing the page?
I did.
Imagine? Okay. Do you want to try a different video player?
Yeah, hold on, let me pause again. What minute are you on, by the way?
8:39.
I'm on 8:45. I guess my audio is zooming ahead, and my visuals are lagging behind.
What in the Sam fuck?
Yeah, let me load up a different player. What did you say your time was?
8:39.
8:39. There we go, I can get that one exactly. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
小早川家の3人がみんな影やと。
ああ、間違いない。私が直接確認した。やはり影が増えている。
どうやら奴らの中にな、影を生み出す影がおる。
違うな。私の知っている。
Well, since I've been dealing with that whole viewer issue, Did they explain what her connection was to the family?
こういうのはどうだ。
Um,
しおりが溺れたのは事故ではなく、
I think she was a regular at their diner. Like, her and this friend used to hang out there all the time.
しおりの影は溺れたか弱い少女を演じ、小船美代に救助された。
その後駆けつけた両親を殺害し影と入れ替えた。
Oh, she's a shadow too, huh?
お前泣いてんのか。
Oh, there we go.
真夏に雪など降るか。
I hate to say it, I am 3 seconds behind you. I was wrong. But, playing it though.
明日は快晴だ。情報弱者め。
こいつは
Oh, they're the family that was missing.
もしそれがなったら私に
Which means that they were already dead before the night that they were missing.
頼みたいことがある。
Yeah.
Which means that these people are living in a house right now with the dead body marks all over the floor.
Yeah, it's kind of... Clean it up, bros. It's too obvious.
Well, because you
I
know...
told you they were connected! I fucking told you they were connected! Eat my ass!
I'll pass on that one for now.
Don't ever... I told you.
I mean, it's not like I argued with you that they weren't. I don't even remember you saying that. That's how little...
I've said it a few times through the series. We had a whole talk about it last time.
Yeah, I just don't
and
remember...
how you thought they were completely unrelated, and he was just the weird uncle that nobody knew or listened to because he was crazy, you know?
Clearly, it was a much stronger argument in your mind than it was mine.
状況を再現すると、やはり小早川しおりは俺に手を出してこない。1時過ぎ。
Why is she hanging upside down? She's a weirdo.
She did that 3 episodes ago when she was also on the phone.
I know, she's a weirdo.
さっきの話、しおりが影を見たって、みおちゃんから聞いた？
あ、ええ、そうなんです。
It actually doesn't rain or snow tomorrow. We both know this.
この二人。
She doing the Roy Mustang thing?
新平くん？
It's not raining. Or I'm not crying, it's raining.
Yeah, yeah. Shame about the rain. It's not raining. Pulls hat down.
Yes, it is.
3人とも影。本物の3人はすでに。
Okay, but which one of those sets of footprints was Jesus?
Okay, all that happened before the funeral. That was the wake.
しんちゃん？
Oh yeah, but he showed up at the wake.
みお、一つ聞いてもね。
I don't know, it doesn't seem like it.
No, I mean we saw him show up at the wake because they were never burying her. It was always the wake.
I thought he was seeing the funeral before. I didn't think he was going to the wake.
No, because it was always in that building. Okay, so it looks like you're right. It's not the original day one. I think it would be more entertaining though if it was.
I thought it would have been cool to see how it's been going from her perspective for a minute, honestly.
Well, that and having to try and keep track of a multiverse.
Yeah.
それ自体を防ぐことはできない。倒すしかない。ミオを守るには。
The thing to also remember is that these guys don't have knowledge that he knows what's going on because they don't keep their memories across the time traveling. That's why they refused to kill him last time. Because they didn't know how to deal with it.
その後、終骨まで別室にて昼食。
You know, something as small as a bug causes their shadow to go out of the way. I think I would just keep a pocket full of rice.
Pockets.
Well, no, just say, hey, before I got on the boat to come here, I was in a wedding, and we all had to throw rice. I don't know if that's a thing in Japan.
ある種の精神疾患が集団的に発生したのは事実だね。
問いに、胸の大きい女性を見たか。
あはは、見たよ、見た。ジーが。
それも
It's a hell of a thing. With my dying breath, I saw your panties. It's a Brook from One Piece move.
It really, really is.
ちょっとこれ見てくれへんか。ひずるに連絡先聞いたらこんなもん渡されてよ。私には意味がさっぱりやねん。
連絡先、南雲先生の。これは。
すまん、新平。ちょっとトイレや。
この暗号は。
Oh, is that right now, or is that yesterday?
I think this is right now. She's looking for Ushio.
Right, but they were in the house with Dad tonight. You know, when Mia was outside staring at the street lamp? Dad is in the house with them making dinner.
Yeah.
So is that real Dad, or is that Shadow Dad?
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's very much now a game of seeing who's been actually a shadow this whole time, and when they were a shadow, and when we saw these people together. Also, how did she just make a shadow of her dad without her dad around?
I don't know.
I'm very confused because it feels like sometimes they have to grab them and sometimes they don't have to grab them.
I mean, if you copy them once, maybe you have like a full copy. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's
like you can draw on it anytime.
Very much you have to grab them if you want their current memories.
Yeah.
But can you just make anybody at any time?
I can imagine.
And if so, why isn't there just a whole second version of everybody in the town?
Why do you know that?
You know what they say, only real anime shows people in bathrooms. So it was her in the men's room?
もしもし、根津さん、着きました。こっからどうすれば。
You've talked to this guy already.
かかしみたいにそこにじっと立ってよよ。すぐ終わるさき。え？
I'm calling it now. This guy is gonna be one of those anime equivalents of Odin.
I hope so.
He gave up an eye for knowledge of the future.
I hope so.
なんでよ？ここどうし？
普通か。
今隣でめっちゃどご言うたで。こう何の音や？
南雲先生、ようやく会えるんだ。
もしも君、本当に戻れたのなら、私に君の名を名乗りたまえ。必ず助ける。
初日から先生と協力できれば、影見を倒せる。それに、なんで先生は。
That was a very weird play.
聞くことは山ほどある。
Well, main dad is in the bathroom. She sneaks in, puts an under maintenance sign on the door, and then hides in the next stall. That's one way to do it.
聞きたいことあんねやったら、まずはこっちの質問に答えてもらうか。あの暗号の鍵になる単語は2つ。作者南雲龍之介とその本名や。だがひずるはわし以外の誰にも自分が南雲龍の。
Yo!
つまりこの携帯。
So does that correlate where she hit the shadow?
I think so.
だが君は人間だ。
Who does number 2 work for?
Oh man, I love this series, man. This is so good.
Well, it's basically like a, that was the Pod People one. It's a classic sci-fi movie. Anyway, it's very much a Pod People scenario in that we can't ever know who all has been taken and turned. Famously, at the end of that movie, everybody but the main character is a pod person.
普通じゃないね。事実は小説よりもきなりとバイロンは言った。私はロマン主義ではないが、あらゆる可能性を干渉しても、この結論に到達するのだ。
ありがとうございます。
I mean, at this point, arguably, I feel like the main character probably knows more than he does.
君は私を知らなかったな。私の正体は私から名乗る以外に知る術はないが、私はまだ名乗っていない。君は今日7月22日を体験するのが初めてではない。何度も繰り返しているのではなかろうか。つまり君はタイムトラベラーだ。
はい。
I don't know what the play here is. Oh, okay.
She's actually autographing it. What a homie.
Right, but that was just a play to do the thing that she said.
I know, but she's just being a homie about it. Damn.
Wow, the episode is so fast.
Right, why does the episodes of this show go by so goddamn quick, but Tomodachi game drags,
We
bro.
took a couple of minutes to solve a video player problem, and it went
Right?
by so fast. I think I just saw something flash in the ending. I don't feel like I can blink through the ending now. I think there's like the subliminal messages are happening right now. Like it's flashing to relevant stuff. Because I looked away for a second, and through the corner of my eye, I saw a flash, and it looked like the town and something. And it looked relevant, and now nothing's happening. But I know if I look away for a moment, it's... Anyway, yeah, no, it goes by so... I think it's because every moment of the show is packed full of information, or appears to be packed full of information.
The point is, you always feel like something's happening and like things are moving forward. It's progressing.
Right, that every moment can be analyzed. So you're trying to analyze every moment.
Yeah.
Like, we just saw that the dad didn't get replaced that evening. That when he's making dinner that night, he is actually still the dad.
Thank goodness for that. He seems like a good man.
Next time, enemy. Well, I mean, it's because we also see that she saves him.
Yeah.
By sneaking into the men's room. Crap. Sorry. The player that I'm on now does the autoplay thing. The other player doesn't.
The default one has the autoplay on it. I just closed out of the window.
No, I was on another player that doesn't do that.
Oh, sweet.
Well, yeah, sweet up until right now where it out of syncs the voice and everything. Which,
True.
by the way, is
Yeah.
going to be amazing to try and match the audio with, because I'm not recording the audio. I was going to sync it up later.
Oh man, have fun. That sounds like it's gonna be a nightmare.
Well, I'm way behind on edits anyway.
I believe in your power.
Yeah,
Someone has to, and it's gonna be me.
I mean, the diligence that I should have is probably going to be replaced by playing Minecraft for the next 20 hours.
I mean, it's all right.
I'm
You,
on
you just recently had some surgery. Like, take your time to relax. You know.
Yeah, and I discovered a One Piece themed Minecraft server, so I've been doing the hell out of that.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Oh yeah, I discovered devil fruits and
Nice.
Play-
I just got Minecraft like a couple weeks ago, like for the first time ever.
wow. I mean, this one's fun. You choose to be a marine, a bounty hunter, or a pirate. Be a
Why would you not get
fishman.
mine?
Be a fishman, a cyborg, a human, or a minx.
Oh, you could be a mink pog.
Yeah, well, I went fishman because, you know, you can breathe underwater and all that shit.
I'd go mink if you have a Sulong form.
I
they have
think
the
you
Sulong
do.
form, I'm
You,
in.
you do because everything levels up into its stuff. Like, the more powerful, yeah, like I'm a fishman. I've just started getting fishman karate.
Nice.
Because the more pirates and everything you kill, the more, it's called doriki or whatever it is you get, which also increases your bounty. Because
Nice.
there's like bounty
bounty
packets you can find, and you open them up, and they have bounties for specific people.
Oh, that's nuts. So you're a bounty hunter then? Or is that just something anyone can do?
Yeah, I'm bounty hunter. All you choose, I mean, anybody can get the bounties. But you choose between pirates, marines, and bounty hunters. And I just chose bounty
Okay.
hunter for whatever.
May as well.
Also, being a fisherman means that if you eat a devil fruit, you don't automatically drown for being in water.
That's true. You can't swim or do anything, but you
Yeah,
won't drown
yeah,
at
you
least.
just walk real slowly across the bottom of the world.
Just get one of you boys to swim by and help you out, that's all.
Well, I don't think I actually want a devil fruit. The
Valid.
devil fruit I keep finding is the one that turns you human.
What?
The one Chopper has. So it's like, as a fishman, I don't want to eat the whatever it's called to turn myself human, because it's like, this is the most worthless combination ever.
No, for real. The only thing more worthless than that is a human eating the human fruit. That's like literally it.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. It's like I have the most worthless one ever. The only one I've
The only time it's worth it is with fruits like the Buddha fruit.
which is apparently very common on the
Buddha
server.
fruit's common?
On the server, yeah. Well, the guy who runs the server made a video, and it's like one of the very first ones he finds. It's one of the very first ones I found. But I mean, I lost it almost immediately. In this server, if you die, you lose your devil fruit powers.
Be like that.
The only one I've been tempted by, I think, is actually the one, the guy on Chopper's Island. The one where you can eat anything.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I think it starts with a W.
Yeah. But I mean, it's called, like, Factory or something like that.
Yeah.
Because one of its powers lets you automatically have a crafting table with you everywhere.
Nice.
And eat anything. I mean, apparently the one that's breaking the server is the Enreals.
Is that the lightning one?
Yeah, because it also lets you, it
Yeah.
basically lets you teleport anywhere in the world as well. Well, the thing is that anyone who can fly, like with crocodiles or Enreals, they get their power, and then they teleport everywhere else to find all the other devil fruits.
That makes sense.
Well, thankfully, at least what they're doing is they're just having games with, like, finding a devil fruit and, like, hey, I've hidden crocodile's devil fruit somewhere around Loge Town. Try and find it.
That's pretty cool, though. I like that.
Yes, that's where my time's been. Anyway, several time render.
Oh, God, yeah, we're still doing the YouTube thing, huh?
Well, we didn't do any end of episode reaction. Just kind of went
No, we really
immediately into my inability to edit due to distraction with Minecraft.
Yeah.
And
makes
V
sense.
Rising, by the way. I guess I'll include this in there because it might show up. I did rent a V Rising server and have been running that and playing it with Griff.
Oh yeah, I saw that you did that. I just don't own the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's cheap.
I don't have a budget for games right
No, I understand. I'm just throwing it out there. Because I'm
Yeah.
not only just trying to sell you, I'm trying to sell anybody who sees this video before I either decide to change the server to a different game or get rid of the server.
Fair.
Because I'm not even close to beating the game.
I hear it's fantastic though. People really be liking it.
It's like Diablo meets Valheim with a vampire tint.
vibe.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like, the last thing, we went through this whole thing about building a base, and the last thing I did was create a vampire throne, which means that I can now take all of my NPC vampires and send them out to do missions.
Oh fuck yeah.
So basically, they do stuff while I'm not playing the game. Specifically
Lovely.
because I put it on a server, so even while no one's logged in, the world is still being played.
Right.
But yeah, server time return.
Oh man. No, I'm really glad it looks like our boys getting like the squad together.
I guess it's a good thing that we're not back in World 0 Day 1. Because then otherwise it would have been an episode of, hey, here's everything you didn't see already. Which is really what we're getting every episode. Every episode is already a, here's something else you didn't know was going on, but has also been going on.
Right.
Which
We're
is
getting more pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah, every episode is a wheel in motion. There's not been a flashback or a pause to figure it out. It's always been a forward
just real
momentum.
time.
Yeah, it's always been forward momentum. We go backwards, but we get more information about things going forwards.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like having a real-time flashback that actually is contributing something other than context. You know, it's yeah, we have to go back and do this, but you already know what happened. We're not going to sit there and friggin' explain it to you again. Here's the situation and here's how it's different now.
Yeah, and we never see him. We never see the main character do the things that he did before, right?
Yeah.
If he does the same thing every day, they just skip ahead to when he's not doing the
Not
same
doing
thing.
that. Yeah.
So if he makes the same choices, like, we see him get off the boat, we see 3 different times where he's made a different choice when he got off the boat to do something different. And then we just don't see him get off the boat anymore. Like, even when it jumps ahead to him just standing on the dock, instead of seeing him react to the dock situation again, we saw her perspective. We see him get hit by his sister coming down the road, just to frame us to know what time we're in, and then we move on to stuff we haven't seen before. The overlap of things that we've seen is like maybe 5 seconds of an episode to just frame of mind us.
Just to sort of like set up where we're going now. Like, hey, we're going back here way. That's pretty much it.
I think the only thing I really missed in this episode, from when I couldn't understand that I was getting desynced audio to visual, was her origins on the island.
Yeah, I honestly kind of missed that because I was trying to listen to you talk, and I didn't process what you were saying or what was happening on the screen. Wonderful me, right? But I think the context was she and her friend just hung out at that diner all the time, and she just knew the family.
Well, I mean, because when you see it, so from my perspective, and I guess the viewer's perspective who would be watching this, from our joint perspective, it sounded like it was just her narrating stuff, which made me think that she was just going over stuff in her mind, so I wasn't giving it its full attention. And then kept getting this male voice in scenes where there was no guy, and I'm like, is she identify as a man, Is that what's going on here? Well, I mean, I just, you just can't think of what's going on. And if she's narrating and a man's voice just keeps coming in, what am
Right.
I left to think? And then I realized that's her dad talking, because now I'm getting scenes with her dad. It's like, it was very hard to understand what was going on, which is why I kept talking about things I thought might be happening, and not reacting to what was in front of me.
Sounds like this might be a good episode to like rewatch before we settle in again next week.
Well, I think all the really important stuff happened at the end of the episode.
Very much so.
I don't know that her interpersonal relationships matter that much when the people that she interacts with are people that we don't interact with.
Yeah, basically we're supposed to care about her and her motivations because now we know everyone that she loves is now a shadow.
Right, and like her main connection to the main character in their group is the father. And the father is getting played as a buffoon, like a joke character. So I don't think it's very important to know what their personal relationship is, if all that matters is she saves him halfway through day one,
Mm-hmm.
and otherwise they're chummy, and that's it. I mean, we still don't really know what her connection to the hunter is.
No, we don't. But I knew they were working together, baby. I knew it the whole time.
Again, that must have been a very important conversation we had that you remember and I don't.
It usually ends up like that with me and people.
Well, I mean, to me,
I remember arbitrary nonsense that no one else ever remembers, but I can't remember anything else.
well, again, if I don't even remember what episode we had this conversation in.
A few. We've had a few.
Right.
And we definitely talked about it last time.
Well, because last time was only his second appearance, and he only had a minute of screen time. Well, maybe 2 minutes of screen time before that. I mean, in total.
Yeah,
So,
he basically showed up in the first episode to tell them the story about Shadows, and I actually don't even remember him showing up in the previous one, so I'll just take your word on that.
no, the first time was him showing up to tell them the story about Shadows.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well, yeah, I thought you were saying the last one because you said you didn't remember the one before that.
No, I just don't remember him being in the previous episode, I'm saying.
Oh, he was crouched down under a window pointing a gun at nothing.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah. Yeah, so the first episode he was in where he retells the Shadows as like some sort of legend or a myth. He maybe has a minute and a half. And then we have him crouching under a window for like 10 to 15 seconds. Which is why I'm saying he maybe had 2 minutes of screen time before this episode.
Just about.
Which is again why I don't know when we had a argument about their relationship or vis-a-vis knowing one another. Because
it was, I believe it was during episode predictions. It was just one of our tangent conversations.
I mean, I don't... going back, not knowing anything, and then knowing stuff now, even then, I could see myself arguing for them not knowing one another, only because we still don't know what their connection is, and it seems so odd to think that these two characters would know each other. Like,
it does. It ended up just being one of those things where I had nothing to back up my prediction. It was one of those just the plot demands it things.
Well, I mean, up until this episode now, wouldn't have thought that she was from this island. So
No, she's mentioned before. She's been here before. She talked about how the one time she was here, she ate the food. She's mentioned it a few times.
The only food thing I remember was from the episode where we first see her hanging upside down in the tree, and that was the episode she said that she hadn't tried a certain food yet.
I thought she said that she'd had, but
I mean, my memory of the event was that she was like, "I haven't tried this food yet. I wonder if it's good." Like she's just talking to herself about weird things.
Yeah, I don't know. That was almost 2 months ago, bro. I hardly remember.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying is
Yeah.
I hadn't clocked that she was from the island if she had given any clues about it. Because, I think in the very first or second episode, I remember we had talked about the idea that she was visiting from somewhere else because of her giant suitcase
Yeah.
and trying to think of what was in the suitcase. Like, I remember putting forward that maybe she was causing the time travel events.
I think I remember that as well.
Which, I mean, obviously isn't true, but maybe is, I don't know, because she's also seeing the future now, and we have no reason to know. Her stuff about being able to see who's a shadow and who's not, and also being able to clock like 5 seconds into the future, we have no explanation for.
Yeah, I kind of hope we get it. I really hope that's not something they just forget and gloss over.
I mean, we have him having stolen or received Mother's Eye
Yeah.
as an explanation. A mystery, mind you, because we don't know how, when, why.
Right, but we have a hint. It's from the main enemy, right? The leader of the main bad guys. He has some of her power, right?
Right.
Oh, we saw she has the other eye. So what the frig is this girl doing with like special eyes?
Right, that's what I'm saying. We have no idea how, when, why, or anything about how he got the eye.
We can only assume Ushio gave it to him on the boat. That's like the only assumption, but we don't know.
Yeah, because we haven't seen any of his life before the boat.
Yeah.
And we also have the clue that he looked in the mirror that one time and noticed his eye was different. His eyes were different.
Yeah. And there was the scene. Remember, I linked you to a scene. We were talking privately, where he was seeing her on the boat, and she's like covered up the eye where he has the special eye. You know what I mean? Like, we can only assume from that she gave it to him there.
I don't remember that.
I'll find the link. And
Again, the only time I remember him covering the eye and referencing it was when he looked in the mirror at the end of day one.
Literally scroll up just a little bit.
I can't.
Okay.
I remember we're recording this and I'm getting my video of you from Discord, so...
Don't worry about it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to ping you on the video clip, and you can check it later.
Great.
But, definitely...
There's just been so few scenes that we've had on the boat itself.
Yes.
That I can't remember, because really the only... Oh, are you talking about when we were saying that he is... Sorry, remind me, Ushio is the blonde, or is it the brunette?
The blonde.
Yeah, okay, I think I'm remembering the conversation now. That I was saying that he was watching a video, and you were saying that she's on the boat. Although, going back...
It was actually literally the first few seconds of episode 1.
Yeah, no, going back in hindsight, remember that my evidence for it being a recording was the video distortion? And now we know that shadows have a video distortion-like effect around them.
Yeah.
We didn't know that back then. So
we did not.
But at the same time, he has never referenced Ushio being on the boat.
Yeah.
And was surprised to see her in person.
I think in his perspective, it was like a daydream.
Right, and for me, it was like... did you ever... we already covered that you've never watched Cloverfield. Mm-hmm. Cloverfield being a recorded video like Blair Witch. Where half of, or 90% of the recording is these people running away from a monster in New York or whatever. And the other 10% is the previous recording on the videotape. Of like these two people's relationship. And everything, so it's like interspersed throughout them running away. The movie will go to like static, and it'll be their trip to Coney Island or something.
Okay, yeah, I see the comparison.
Yeah, so that was what I was thinking when I first saw it, is, okay, this is just a video recording that his sister left him, that he's now remembering because he's heading to her funeral. And now we have the context...
We have some context to that
of the video distortion being a thing that shadows do. And we also know now that she is dead, and the Ushio that we know is a shadow, that other shadow is considered to be a traitor.
Yeah. And we do know that for some reason she had Mother's Eye.
I mean, I don't know that we know that, but it seems very plausible that what you're thinking is true.
I'm pretty sure, because, like, I was just looking at the clip again just now, and, like, as soon as she puts his hand over his eye, screen goes dark, you see the video static, the glitching, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that was literally her taking the eye and putting it in him.
See, my problem is I can't analyze it right now while we're on here.
I completely understand.
At the same time, I think if we were gonna rewatch a clip, and I wish I could just bring up clips like magically, like I'm actually good at editing. I think if we were gonna bring up a clip to like break it down, the scene that I would want to bring up was from last episode when he's traveling back in time, but he's doing a thing that he's never done before when he went back in time. Doing that tunnel thing where, you know, everything's like brown around him and a voice is talking to him. Like the moments before he or after he died, but before he wakes up back in the past. Because I feel like that was also a relevant moment. It
absolutely was.
That would describe a moment in which he might have gotten the eye. Not in that moment, but the ability.
Back to the eye.
Yeah, the ability of a shadow to reach back through that moment. Which, though, is odd because who was talking to him in that moment? Because
I believe, right?
But it couldn't be, though. The shadows can't travel back in time.
Yeah, but Ushio's weird. Like, I don't know how to describe it.
Right.
It sounded like her voice actress.
Her personality doesn't travel back because she is confused also.
I know. She's one of the biggest things that doesn't make sense in the series right now.
The character whose name I'm gonna give is Darkman because we don't know who the hell or what it is. The one that kills everybody.
Yeah.
He's our point of view as perspective towards the shadows not being able to travel back in time.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that conjectures that our main character can travel back in time with knowledge and says that we cannot let him die because he's going to figure out a way to stop us if we keep letting him do it.
Right.
Which is also then why none of the shadows react to him in the past, because they don't know that he's doing it. Which is again why he has gone back in time multiple times. Ushio has not reached out to him at any point in any of these other new timelines. Which tells me that no. Or, I shouldn't say no. Tell me when she has, should be my reaction.
Wait, sorry, I just realized you're probably talking about specifically, like, the travel back in time tunnel thing, right?
I'm talking about...
Or are you talking about contacting him at all, like when they were at the festival together?
I'm talking about he meets her, he dies, goes back into the past, and Ushio, who's now on the island, doesn't remember him and immediately run out to find him.
Yeah.
The Ushio that we know I feel like is on the beach right now still.
She's such a confusing character. I can't even say anything on it. I can't have this discussion because we don't know jack or shit about her. I feel like she's going to be a special case for some reason. I don't know what it is, but it's different from the other shadows and we're probably going to figure it out.
Well, we know that she's a traitor to the other shadows. Beyond that, she has no special powers or abilities that we
know of.
That's what I'm saying, that we've been given.
Because I mean, like this episode alone, right? We didn't know that they could like spawn like a double. You know what I mean? Like we're learning new things the shadows.
Well, we did know
every
that.
Single time.
We did know that because I've raised a fuss about it before. That's so because Mio at the festival was doing it. Also, Darkman at the festival was doing it. And I raised a fuss then, too, that we have no consistent knowledge about when shadows can be made. Because before then, it felt like they had to be touching them, and they immediately burnt them away. Because when Mio kills the cop and makes a shadow of him, that was the context. But now there just seem to be raising them without any of that. So we don't know the rules of when a shadow can be made yet or not.
But that's kind of what I'm saying, though. We don't know the full potential of what shadows can do. We don't know if some shadows can do things other shadows can't. We don't have enough info to be really talking about Ushio like that, I think.
I mean, I think we can because we don't know everything, but we have a general sense of what, right? When I say what, we have a general sense of
what they can do.
of being. We have a general sense of what being a shadow is, and the point that we can make generalized statements, which I think is the strength of the show, is that we can make generalized statements and, scientific method them out.
Yeah.
That's what all of our clues have been. I make a statement, I'm proven wrong, I revise my statement.
Yeah.
So far, Ushio's power is that she's a traitor. So far it's like a shadow is made and they have instant allegiance to the rest of the shadows. And Ushio's power is she was made a shadow and still has allegiance to her friends because she has, as all shadows do, the memories of who they were in life. It's just other shadows come back and are...
memories as a shadow aren't there.
Well, we don't know because she had to be reminded that she died, but then we had that whole storage room scene where she's going over what her memories actually are, and that she's not actually confused, but wanted to deny what her memories were. It was back during the moments where we were like, why is she a top 10 female characters of this season?
God, that was forever ago.
2 weeks. But,
Forever.
I'm thinking that since we're like 3 episodes behind what is current, that she was probably top 10 because of the kickboxing scene and not the cute face in the warehouse scene. Where she does that anime thing where I puff out the cheeks and I don't want to accept what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm still under the firm belief that Ushio absolutely gave our main character the eye, which means that she had to have some kind of way to acquire said eye, which means she probably has some kind of special power or feat that other shadows don't know about, because they don't fucking get it, that we know. So, I don't know. I still think she's something different.
I mean, like I said, I don't think there is not solid evidence to my eyes that says that, but at the same time, I agree with you that she's probably the only one that could have. Unless he is a shadow and has been. No, he's not a shadow. This is the episode that proves.
We've proven that he's not a shadow.
Well, I think this is the episode that proves it because she looks at him, the girl that identifies all the shadows on eyesight. She looks at him and says, not a shadow.
Not even that, dude. We saw main boy shoot his... not main boy. We saw the hunter shoot his shadow.
Right. Well, again, that was still this episode. I'm saying that this episode is the episode that proves it. Otherwise...
Okay.
Otherwise, in past reactions, we have speculated that maybe he is...
He could be, yeah.
That he's a half shadow or something like that. Which I guess technically still is.
I guess technically he kind of is now.
I mean, you don't have to be 50% shadow to be half shadow. He has a part of a shadow in him.
He's Shadow the Hedgehog.
Which kind of makes him a half-breed according to what redneck neighborhood you happen to be walking through that day.
He's a shadow cyborg.
Social commentary. Just fell right off the... But yeah, no, so he's not a shadow. Which, I guess, to the layout of the reaction below us, I guess technically I put one person on the wrong side. On the layout beneath you is Ushio, one-eyed hunter guy, and our main character. Which I guess kind of makes it all the good guys underneath you on the reaction side. But underneath me is that, the weird woman who saved him last episode.
Yeah.
Mio and the red-haired kid who's the son of the sheriff.
Yeah.
And if I was going to rearrange, which I guess I totally could, but I'm not going to. If I was going to rearrange, I'd move the brunette. That's the one who can see shadows. I'd move her over to the other side.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd move Ushio over here. That way it would be left-hand side is all shadows.
People.
Yeah.
No,
But yeah.
I don't know. I think it's fine as it is.
I just mean it's funny.
No,
Because
definitely.
technically,
it would have totally made sense.
Technically, right-hand side is all good guys, but left-hand side still has a good guy on it. So
yeah, it's just you got the people who are definitely confirmed shadows and the people who are definitely confirmed not.
Again, except for brunette is on the left-hand side.
Oh, I mean, like if you did switch them.
Now, it would be amazing to find out that brunette can identify shadows from not, because she is a shadow. I mean, we have no proof that she's not well, never mind, we have proof. Well, no, we have proof she's not a shadow. She gets her head blown away in episode 1.
Yeah.
And she's taking actions throughout this episode. Well, I don't know. You could be turned into a shadow and be a traitor. We've already gotten that proven by Ushio. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a matter of,
She acts weird and she can identify shadows by eyesight.
she's just a weirdo.
Yeah.
I really think she's just a weirdo.
At the same time, though, we haven't seen all moments of the day with her. She could have
we
been...
haven't seen anyone go for her shadow either, so...
Yeah, so she could have been changed at some moment during the day that we haven't seen yet. Like that little girl's family. We know during episode 2 that at some point during the day they all got converted to shadows. Now, we all thought that happened overnight because the next day we know that the family vanishes. But it was during this episode that we find out that it actually happens during the day. And they just happen to vanish the next day. And it's a very weird thing to now think that the little girl gets changed some point in the morning, kills her mother and father during the same morning before the wake, and that throughout the entire rest of the day, up until the next day where they go missing, the house is just occupied by the, I don't know what you would call it, the burn outline of the dead bodies. Like, we saw that the mother dies somewhere on the floor, in front of the couch, in front of the TV, and that the dad dies on the couch watching TV. Not because we saw it happen, but because that's where we saw the outlines of their bodies.
Right, we have the physical evidence that we have the context to understand.
I want to say that even though that series of scenes was kind of weak, I thought, at the same time it gave us so much information. Like, that is the moment that we saw that flashes create shadows.
Yeah.
Like, we got a photograph effect where him looking forwards, and then a second photograph of him looking to the side and doing something else, which is super important. Not a very impactful scene, but that scene in itself where he walks in and sees the outline is what I would want to describe as what Tamagotchi game is missing. It
lacks subtlety in its storytelling.
Well,
but
it is a moment. It is a moment of a single image.
Yeah.
That tells a story without character understanding. I was telling it to you when you weren't watching the same scene because you were still on the previous episode. I was telling it to you of this is what must have happened because of just the image of what happened. Like, you see the outline of the body in front of another outline, and it's like, okay, she must have killed the dad first, because you wouldn't watch somebody being killed in front of you and still be sitting on the couch.
Right.
So she must have killed the dad, and then either her or the shadow of the dad then killed the mother in front, which is then laying on the ground in front of the TV, in front of the couch, which must have meant either she got up off of the couch, having witnessed the dad get killed. See, that's what I'm saying. It's the image that just paints a picture in your mind of a murder scene and how it must have played out in like a Sherlock Holmes mind palette sort of way. Like, the mother couldn't have been sitting on the couch watching the father being killed, which is why the body is on the ground in front of them, and you have to imagine the order of events, which is why it's such a strong 2-second scene, which is more powerful than any scene in any episode of Tomodachi Game, because what I literally said during today's reaction, show don't tell. Today's reaction was 15 minutes of tell for 5 minutes of show.
That's kind of what the show's been.
That episode, 2 episodes ago or 3 episodes ago of this show was 2 seconds of show. They never told us, and it has been racking in my brain that it's been 2 seconds of show, no tell, but in my head has told me several hours worth of content.
Definitely.
I mean, the show hasn't been 7 hours yet.
It's a difficult tool to execute correctly, but like the way that you're explaining this particular one, yeah, like it totally makes sense. My problem with Tomodachi Game, like apart from constant flashback after flashback, it is that, and I didn't really like pick up on it until you said it, but it really made it make sense to me. There's a lot of tell, there's not a lot of show. It's literally just every time they're about to do something, it just turns into like an exposition. Whereas in this, they give you the pieces, they give you the information you need to piece it together yourself, so they can move on and do more important things.
It's literally a jigsaw of a show, because they will tell you they'll show you a thing, and it's connected to other things that are in the episode, but to the greater story, you have to figure out how these three or four things you saw in rapid succession during an episode fit together in the puzzle that is the greater show, which is why it's a jigsaw and not a series of clues. Like, we saw the girl, the first episode, we saw the girl, giant blank eyes. We saw a flash before we saw the girl. We saw the wake. And these three things together in episode 1 constitute a minute and a half or 2 minutes of the episode. Of an episode where a lot of other shit is happening. But these three elements are, say, an edge piece of a puzzle. The girl with the giant eyes is one part of the jigsaw piece. The flash is a different part of a jigsaw piece. The wake is another part of a jigsaw piece. And if we were putting that into a puzzle, in this analogy that I'm now forming off the edge of my seat, 2 parts of those jigsaw pieces connect to the house that we see 2 episodes later, where we see that the little girl has killed her family. Then we also see a flash that creates the shadow of the main character in that same house. And those 2 pieces connect to that episode later on, and the wake later connects to that little girl being present to Ushio's death scene, where she gets strangled to death. And I guess maybe we know or we don't know that that little girl was a shadow then or not.
It's kind of heavily implied, but they haven't outright said one way or the other.
Right. So that 1 minute and a half scene connects to clues and puzzle pieces that are so far disconnected across the entire show but are being shown to us to connect in our own minds. Like, it would be so easy for this show, with its time travel aspect, just have multiple scenes of the main character explaining everything to everybody. But at most, we have gotten 2 minutes of that. Of him sitting in a room talking to Mio and a red-haired guy. And you know what we didn't get? The explanation. He doesn't explain it to them because the show respects that us, the viewer, have been watching and know what everything he would explain. So instead of getting that explanation, we got their reaction of Mesopotamia.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, that's very important. Like you said, the people behind this show are respecting us, the viewer. And like, I hate time travel as a concept, as a storytelling tool. I friggin' hate it. It's always confusing, it's annoying, it's inconsistent most of the time, you know.
You heard it here
But this
first, watchers. Chey hates The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, and possibly also Your Name.
I haven't seen either of those, but I will be watching Your Name eventually. Because an artist I used sampled it in one of his songs, and now I have to.
Oh,
It's my favorite.
in my head, Your Name exists in the same framework as Made in Abyss, as things that I want to watch, but know going into it are too sad to watch.
I mean, I knew about Your Lie in April, and I went into it, so.
I haven't watched that one. I mean, I know I've seen references to it all over the place.
If you've seen any slice of life anime,
I guess I'd also include
Like
it in
that.
the category of erased. Things that I want to watch, but I know are too sad to get into.
oh no!
I have to
no,
be
no.
in the
But
right
you have
mind
to.
space.
Erased is a must-see, dude.
Well, so is Made in Abyss and Your Name. Like, I'm surprised that you haven't watched Your Name yet. As
Like I said, I plan to. I just never really think about it when I'm trying to find something new.
Your Name is a must-watch as well. I know that, but haven't. I would also say Made in Abyss is probably a must-watch. I just haven't
I want to
gotten
watch
there.
that. I love deceptively cute art styles. I
Well,
had such a good time with Madoka Magica.
Deceptively cute, but also sad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's where the deception of the cute comes in.
Well, I don't know. You can be cute and sad, but not be deceptively cute and sad.
I'm referring to the series itself. It, like, on surface looks deceptively cute, and then you start watching and you're like, oh.
But also, I think the fact that I know what Erased is about is kind of taking a hit
That's
on
true. Like, if you know the big plot twist, like, you're not gonna love it.
But also, I think I watched C. Are you familiar with C?
Is that the one with the vampire?
No.
No, that's Blood Sea. Never mind.
C has a subtext name, and I can't remember what it is that this guy describes. C is the one where you play games for money, but you have like a certain amount of money that you're given. I know this sounds like Tomodachi game, but it's not. It is like there's like a supernatural realm with like supernatural creatures that's like layered on top of reality, and it's basically all money. And if you run out of money, the entire memory of you is completely erased from reality.
Holy shit, it's capitalism.
It basically, I think that's what C is supposed to represent. So like, there's a lot of powerful people that play the game, and that's the reason why they're actually rich in reality. Like, there's a teacher who had a family, but his family was also involved in the game. So he, as a player of the game, remembers his family, but to the rest of reality, his family played the game and lost, so they've been wiped from reality. So his wife and I think daughter have been wiped from reality. He remembers them and is playing the game to try and give them money so that they can become back to reality. But to the rest of the world, he has no family, so he's just a teacher who's sad for no reason.
Dude, this is just the future 10 years down the road.
Also, in the other world, you have like a... what's that? Guilty Crown. Did you ever watch Guilty Crown?
No.
Oh, you have like an
I will
app.
say, dude, I'm starting to get so tired and not registering almost anything you're saying.
I was gonna say earlier that I've like almost passed out mid-conversation before because it's hard for me to talk and breathe at the same time.
Then why don't we just cut it, bro? We're talking about shit that isn't even relevant to the series anymore. Let's just cut it and like take a break and you get rest.
That's the difference between you and me, is that I get super excited to talk about these things because to me, they've been sitting in the back of my mind for years with no outlet to conversation. I've literally
totally
had
get that.
no one ever, not online or text format or anywhere, to talk about C. And this is like the one moment, so it's like, talk about it now, it'll never come up again.
I'm just really tired and you're gonna end up hurting yourself.
No, I'll just end up passing out on the keyboard. Hold on. Well, let me just get this one last thing out. C control is what it was.
Okay.
The C stands for control. The Money and Soul of Possibility is the name of the anime.
That is a title.
Well, again, it's you have an alternate reality where you have like a fantasy kind of creature that represents your interests.
That's
So
cool,
kind of like Guilty Crown meets Eden of the East. Have you seen Eden of the East?
You already know the answer to the question.
I'm gonna say no, but at the same time, Eden of the East is such a powerful, strong anime.
I've never even heard the title.
You haven't? Okay, I'm just gonna give you the 1-minute pitch. Even if you remember or not, so the viewers who haven't seen Eden of the East haven't. Gotta remember. Gotta remember that also. I'm not only talking to you. I'm hopefully talking to a prospective future viewer of the episode.
Yeah.
Eden of the East starts with a Japanese girl on vacation in America, standing in front of the White House taking a selfie, when a naked man runs across the lawn holding a gun, throws the gun into the White House lawn, and is in her selfie with her. And the emphasis is that the man also has no memory of his past. And she decides to help him. That's your 1-minute pitch of Eden of the East.
That's a concept.
I mean, that doesn't even go into any of the minuscule parts of... Okay, one last aspect I have to bring up Eden of the East, only because I mentioned it to the C thing, is that there are people in the world that have a cell phone where they can make a phone call and ask for something to happen, and it will happen. And they have a bank account with like millions and millions of dollars in it. And everything that they ask to happen costs money. So like one of the examples is, to verify that this concept is true, one of the characters says, okay, have the Prime Minister of Japan say fart on national television. And he turns to the television where they're having like, what's it called? What's the government of Japan called? Like the daimyo? Not daimyo, the... starts with a D.
I don't know, sorry.
Well, anyway, there's like a national conference happening where the Prime Minister is present. Like an advisor turns to him while he's on television, and they talk for a second, and then he turns back to the camera and says the word fart. And he says, your balance has been reduced by $400,000. Or something like that. So you say something into the phone to happen, it happens, and when you run out of money, you're out of the game.
That's kind of fun.
The idea, I think, is supposed to be that you're killed the moment you run out of money. Well, the idea is that you're supposed to use this money to make the world a better place, and if you fail to make the world a better place, you lose and die.
Makes sense.
But yeah, you know, if you're running out of steam, and there's a possibility that I might die on camera.
Yeah, we don't want anyone dying.
I don't know, the views might go up there, but at the end of the day, who would upload the video? That's the question you have to ask in a lot of horror movies, right? Who edited this video, if it's found footage?
No, that's shit. You just put so many holes in like so many movies.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? If you see them die to the monster or the killer at the end of the movie, then why does this seem like a very edited movie? Who edited it? Who added the orchestral soundtrack during the scenes that are high tension?
Oh my god.
But yeah, no, okay, this has been Stone-Faced Reactions. We got an
It sure
outro
has.
with no intro of reacting to the Summertime Render.
Yo, reinventing the wheel.
Well, nobody cares about the intro. Nobody cares about the outro, really. You get less views at the end of the
Formality.
video, yeah. It's the middle of the video people care about. Yeah, no, this has been Raktus for Theta, and that's been Shy. Catch y'all next time.
Be safe.